Now we just gotta wait for a minute and see if they show up. We're just a hair early. Just us. That's exciting. Hey, people are coming on.
What a night.
We're going to give it a little bit. Thank you guys for joining in. We're just going to wait a second. We had 180. I'm not quite sure how many of those folks are going to actually tune in. So we're going to wait just a second. And the time we got some Kool and the Gang playing in the background. Kind of date myself, but when we call it Ladies Night again, that song's been going through my head ever since. I don't know about you, Krista, but hey, happy birthday, Dub Fincher.
I talked to her today. It's not her birthday today.
Oh, all right, I'm going to turn this off. Hey, it's Ladies Night, and we got some people coming in. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to get started, and this is supposed to be just a fun time for all of us to get in. Hey, Sandra, get together and share a little bit of kind of the frustrations. You know, I'm Karen Butler. I'm the president and founder of Shoot Like a Girl, but tonight is not about shooting sports. Tonight is about really just getting together, all of us kind of going through the same thing right now. But what do we do? And so that's what we're going to talk about. So my background is military. I spent 22 years as a civilian, not a soldier. I'm married to a Marine, which is really great. 2 years as a civilian, I retired to run my company. But I was a family program officer for a lot of that time. And we just did a study on COVID-19 through our sister company, SLG2 Consulting. And we learned that there are a lot of people out there that are going through, hey, everybody, that are going through the same things that everybody else is. They're frustrated with being homeschool teachers all of a sudden, plus trying to work a job, plus they've got their, significant other, their loved ones underfoot all the time, and it's getting a little stressful, and it doesn't seem like there is an end in sight, but it seems kind of far away. And so together and talk about some of those frustrations and some tips on how we can do things better. We can learn from you. You can learn from us. But we can get together, have some fun. And I'm going to turn over to Krista. But before that, I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to do something fun. So we'll start inviting you guys to be a guest. There's people on this platform. So we'll be inviting ladies to come in and visit with us. But right now in the comments, we'd like you all to type one word that really describes yourself. And I know it's hard to stick with one word, but try to that describes yourself, just so we can all get an idea of who we're talking to. I would say that my word is committed, to making the best of this situation, no matter what. And so I'm going to turn it over to Krista, and I'm so glad to see everybody joining in. Thanks so much. And we will get to the comments. If we don't get to each of your comments today, we will get to them.
So, hey, Karen, thanks for having me on with you. I'm noticing a little bit of a delay. So I don't know if it's from your internet or from mine. So ladies, just be patient. Technology is not always our friend, and there'll be a little bumps and bruises along the way. If I need to shift closer or move somewhere, shut some Wi-Fi off to make it work, I will. So yay, it's ladies' night. Woo, 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 woo. I'm getting messages. So Georgia Stivala, Karen, I just sent her a message. Can you hop on and try to answer her message? She's trying to find us. And I told her to go back to our page and find us live, that we're live right now, so she can join in. So hi, I'm Krista Forrester. I wear a lot of hats. Don't have on a hat right now, but I do wear a lot of hats. In the Shoot Like a Girl world, I am the business development person. I'm one of the firearms instructors. I love the Shoot Like a Girl team. I'm also work a regular job. I work in the medical industry. That will pause right there, right? Because we all know the medical industry, whether you're frontline, which thankfully today I'm still hanging back in the wings, but frontline or in behind, You guys, it's a struggle. And for those of you, whether you're medical or some other essential business, we can't thank you enough. For those of us that are able to stay home, even though it's stressful to stay home, you guys are really out there battling for us. Tried and true. Oh, we got stuff popping on. I gotta look at my computer. A little bit more history. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I have 10 grandkids. I had a tea party with 2 of them today via Zoom. And former business owner, general manager of a medical gas company. And hey, I'm just me. And it's ladies' night, and we're here just to kind of chill, right? The world is tense. Everything that's going on around, ooh, my table shakes. Everything that's going on around us is stressful. I got pink flowers behind me. I got birds chirping. I brought my lemonade. Could be adult lemonade, could be plain lemonade. And you guys are here. And so we're going to have a good time together, just kind of chilling, kind of getting things behind us and starting another new process. If you've been watching our Facebook Lives during the day, you know, we're connecting with people that are our followers and partners. This is for us. This is just for ladies coming on, having a good time. So thanks for joining us. My word, this is a challenge for me. So Karen and I talked about this earlier. I would have to say my word sometimes changes daily or hourly, depending on what's happening in my life. Today, my word is thankful. I found myself kind of, I'm a structure person. I need be here, be there, do this, have a list 300,000 lines long so I can get it done. And when it's not like that, I get kind of, And then this afternoon, I realized how thankful I was that I have my family and I have my friends and we can spend this time together, and that everyone so far, even the ones I do have some few counterparts that are currently suffering with a potential COVID situation, but we're all coming together. We're supporting each other, and we're trying to do the best that we can in the situation. So today, my word is thankful, and I'm thankful that all of you ladies are joining us. Karen? Oh, did you freeze on me? Okay, Karen might be frozen. I might be frozen. Sometimes we never know. Karen's blinking in the screen, so I can't tell. So I'm looking for words, right? We've got some words. Everybody's supposed to put their one word that means confidence for them. Oh, I see some. I'm going to reflect on some of these. We've got outgoing. We've got positive. Oh, does that say historian? Historian, life's cheerleader. Confident. Confident, for those that know me, is one of my favorite words. It's actually how we should all live our lives every day, whether it's COVID-19 or just life with no virus. We should be confident, even if it's not a good day. We should be okay with it. Fighter. We got lots of fighters out there. I hope you guys can still see me. I know Karen's dropped off, but she'll pop back on. Yes, Sandra, this is the first ladies' night. We have an entire lineup. We're going to meet every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. We're excited to have you here. Determined. How many of you are determined? Me, I'm determined for a lot of things. I want to make sure that I can stay safe and sound. And hey, little secret, I'm going to be kind of quiet because my husband might come out of the kitchen, but it's been since 2005 that my husband and I have been in the same house for more than about 4 days. We're on 2.5 weeks. So far, we've adjusted, sort of. Honey-do list is getting done. We are getting under each other's feet occasionally. Occasionally, we're furrowing our foreheads or grumbly. But we're fortunate because every night when we go to bed, we both tell each other how much we love each other, and we start the day anew. If you're out there, maybe you don't have that challenge. Maybe you don't have a spouse helping you with your children at home, or there she's back. Aha! Or maybe you don't have anybody at home. Maybe it's just you, and that's another challenge, right? So you've been quarantined at home, and you got to kind of hang out and be by yourself. This is a great place to come and share. So Karen's back. I know what she did. So if you didn't pay attention, something changed. Karen jumped rooms on us, right? Karen jumped rooms.
I moved right next to our internet router, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But hey, y'all, so one of the things, and if Krista just correct me if we're going over this, but one of the things that was told in our responses was the healthcare workers and how so many of them are sacrificing for us in terms of they go home and then they literally will declothe in their garage and go take a shower because they don't want to take any germs. Some of them are worried they're going to bring home germs to their families. And so I really got to give a shout out to the healthcare workers. You know, none of us are seeing that on this end, but when we see it in the comments and we see the real emotion that people are going through, we really got to give that shout out. And then on terms of spouses, so hey, you guys, we you know, these posts are out there forever. So if you're about tired of having your loved ones underfoot, just put an emoji in of choice so that we get an idea how many of you are like up to here with your situation.
Right.
And
So
the reason,
Karen, and if they don't have a loved one underfoot, maybe they're not able to socialize with their people. They're stuck at home and they're alone, whether they have pets under feet or they just find themselves self-isolated. Please throw that emoji out there too.
Yeah. And I see that someone says that they're scared to go to work, and that's understandable, especially if you're working in the healthcare. I'm not sure where you're working, Nita, but I get that. You know, as these loved ones, with military, you know, we give training on this because the hardest part about your husband going on a deployment is not actually the time that they're gone, although it seems like it. It's really when they get back, because we military spouses, whether man or female, get into a routine. They've got a routine with the kids, a routine with the pets, a routine with going to work, a routine with exercise, a routine with meals. And then all of a sudden their loved one comes home and everything changes. Not because the military person is saying, hey, make all these changes. It's just a fact. You get two people living together, things change. And that's happening right now across the United States with families being together in kind of isolation for now, because everybody's underfoot. And it starts with expectations. And what we teach military families is that you have to think about those expectations. Like, it's not about, you know, like you kind of have a fairy tale expectation. Like, oh, so my husband has to go to work, right? So he goes to work and comes home. He's mission essential. He gets home. I have this expectation that he's going to walk in. I'm going to have dinner on the table. He's going to say, oh, honey, how nice to see you. But normally, no, he walks in and it's just like normal to him because his life hasn't really changed where mine has. And so it just changes. I had this expectation that it would be different. You might have an expectation that you're going to give your honey that's home all the time this giant honey-do list. And that list is just going to get done and done and done. And your loved one might have an idea that, well, no, I'm going to catch up on my hobby, or I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to do something else, or I'm still trying to work from home and homeschool and. And so setting those expectations right out of the get-go will really help you to be great. And I see that I see that people are asking us to make sure that everybody practices that social distancing. I know it's tough when people think that life is normal because it's not affecting them, the COVID-19, but we all kind of share that civic responsibility to do what our nation is asking of us right now. It's honestly a great time.
Well, Karen, I keep telling people that I talk to casually on the phone with their friends or counterparts, acquaintances through Facebook. Even my employees that I deal with that are showing up at work while I'm working from home. Hope my dogs don't start barking. This is kind of like that ice storm that we're waiting for, right? The snowstorm that we all prepared for. The meteorologist said, hey, we're going to close the schools. We're going to put you out of work. If you're in Atlanta, you're going to get 2 inches of snow. Everything is shut down. Everybody stay home. We'll be down for a couple days and we'll get back to it. But the snow and the ice never comes. And then people began to say, okay, well, I hunkered down, I stayed in, but it's not a problem now. So I'm just going to go on back to my life. We need everybody to start thinking about that, right? So who knows what, we're not there. I'm not there. I'm not in the hospital. I'm not experiencing it. None of us want to be there. It's we've got to do our part. You're right. It's our responsibility to try to give as much as we can.
Hey, Krista, I'm seeing a
Yeah.
lot of comments about grandkids. And so I would love for you to share what you did with your grandkids today. I saw this and I'll tell you, all those that are missing your grandkids, I had my grandson for the first 2 weeks of this isolation and I miss him like crazy, but let me tell you, that was a lot of work. I feel for the parents out there because wow, the school sent them home with just as much work as if they were at school. And oh, by the way, I still have a job to do. So it was kind of challenging. But I see people talking about missing time with their grandkids. Can you tell them what you did today with your
Sure.
grandkids? It's so cool.
Sure. So I have a variety of grandchildren. The majority of them are under the age of 8. One set of them I've been having twice a week calls with. They bring a snack. We have a conversation. They teach me something. But my 2 little girls in one family, they're young, so they're not really into that. They're not going to sit still very long, and their parents are both working, and they've got three children under the age of 4. And let me just tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I thought, hey, I'll do something fun. I asked their parents, what's a good time? Is there a good afternoon time that would work for them? And we picked 4 o'clock, and I ran upstairs in my guest bedroom where my grandchildren sleep, and I grabbed a bunch of different stuffed animals and set up china on my table. And we had a virtual tea party. They showed up on their end, not gonna lie, because I bet their mom might be on here. It was a little cray-cray, right? Their end was craziness. But we had Minnie Mouse and Piglet and 2 bears and another pig, and everybody had a little teacup, and we had a conversation over tea virtually so that we could stay connected, right? It was something different. It was something fun, unique. And of course, because of the world of Facebook, it'll be captured forever.
That's so clever. What, you guys, are you doing anything clever out there that can help other people? The other thing about having your loved one, and I know we've got a lot of, her daddy is military, so there will be a prize. Oh, sorry, I'm reading my own comment. I'm like, the comments are scrolling on there, y'all. So we're getting used to this, and we will get better as we go. Next week on Tuesday, we're going to do this every Tuesday night. We're going to solicit your comments and topics that you want to talk about. And then we're going to bring in experts and other people to kind of talk about things too. So another thing with an expectation, and I see that Dr. Lisa is on, but let me tell you something. So when my husband deployed and he came back, I wanted to sit and tell him everything. So for those of you that have loved ones that leave and come back, or maybe it's vice versa, or your husband's just home for now, you want to like sit and visit with them because you're used to visiting with all of your friends. Like, so men say 1,000 words a day. Did you know women say 10,000 words a day? Statistically, that might not be true for you, but statistically, women say 10,000, men say 1,000. So sometimes when I'm talking to my husband, all of a sudden I'll see his eyes glaze because it's this joke that we have, because he knows that it's not that he doesn't care what I'm saying. He really does. It's just that he doesn't want to listen anymore. He's sensory overload, right? And so you just he says rah, which is what the Marines say. Marines talking one word, rah. And so he tells me rah, and I get it. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to just kind of talk about this later because I really want him to listen to what I'm saying.
It's funny that Karen says that men speaking 1,000 words and women speaking however many. Karen has been stuck in a vehicle with my husband in the rain in a parking lot. He doesn't speak in 1,000 words. As a matter of fact, if you know him, he speaks in 100 million words, but that's okay. We all have reverse roles. Yes, he does all the time. And I'm here with him all the time. Oops. But no, really, I'm noticing that people are commenting. I want to touch base on this. We've seen, if you're on Facebook, obviously you're on here for the live, you've seen drive-by parades with teachers going to see their students. We've had, I think it was Margaret Williamson that just said her granddaughter's birthday is Thursday and they're going to have a virtual birthday party. It's amazing the positiveness that people have embraced to make things work, right? We could all sit at home, stuck in our corner and grumbly. And if we do that, it's okay because we're allowed to do that. But we don't want to stay there. Let's do it.
Right.
Let's get the grumble out and let's move on. We're into spring. Spring is growth and happiness. Yes.
Do you know what I call those? I throw myself pity parties all the time. And I don't know if you've all thrown yourself. But the thing about a pity party is they're really boring. Nobody comes. Nobody wants to stay at your pity party. And you end up just kind of crying by yourself. And so sometimes you got to have a pity party. But then get it in and get it out. And oh no, we've got some people that have family members with the virus. So, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody that's ill. This is just kind of it's an amazing time in our history. And this is going to be something that we tell our great grandkids about, like in the younger generation. It's going to be one of those things that we lived through. God willing, we will all get through this. I see some people there with some really talking about the dentist office still being open and how people are going to the dentist when they don't really need to. And I just can't imagine being in that situation where you have people, well, I'll tell you what, let me tell you something. So I had to go to the grocery store. I'm keeping my 6 feet distance. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be. And I felt bad for the guy, but there's a guy in there hacking up a lung, and every single person in the place aisle ice went to that person like, get out of here. And so probably not a good idea if you're not feeling good. Call a neighbor. There's so many people in this country that are willing to lend a hand and help out. And I think it's great that everybody's helping out.
And in reverse of that, for those people that we know, if we've got maybe someone down the street or a parent or a relative or a friend that's an older person at home alone, and maybe they don't have people that come by or check all the time, it's okay to give them a call or leave them a note in their mailbox. Maybe they need something.
All right, so I've got to find it, but everybody, it's Dub Fincher's birthday today, and then
It is not Dub's birthday.
It's Mandy Lee. I see. It's not Dub's birthday?
No.
I see Mandy.
I asked her. It's not her birthday.
I see Mandy Lee, and I put that up there. Y'all, we need to give Mandy Lee a little love. Right? Mandy, happy birthday! Sorry you had to
happy birthday to everybody.
Yeah. Should be a happy birthday to everybody. But y'all are here with friends. It sucks, doesn't it? And it's okay to just say it sucks. Well, this situation, we're all, where it comes to your loved ones too, that's another thing. We're mad at the situation. We're not really mad at each other, right? Everybody is just kind of frustrated with the whole situation.
Right. I don't know if my daughter-in-law is on here, but I have to say something that my son told me that I think we're going to see a lot of, whether it's a spouse to a spouse or even children to a parent. It could be anything. He said to me, I didn't realize what Embry went through every day. And she was working, getting the kids ready for school and having to deal with them and to go to a job until I was here watching everything happen and participating on a regular basis. It's one thing when a person's there all the time and then leaves for 4 or 5 days and then comes back. That's kind of like, I don't know, it's different. And so I think we're going to start seeing people look at life differently. Maybe it's not all about the fast-paced life. I'm the biggest, I got to be honest, I'm guilty. Anybody that knows me or knows anything about me, watches me, follows me, maybe you don't know me at all. People joke all the time. We have no idea where you're going to be in the next hour. And sometimes I don't either. But this has kind of forced me to stop and think, hey, I kind of like being at home a little bit, or I like being around my family, or I like taking a moment for myself that I wasn't doing before. There are positives in everything, and it takes ourselves to do that for ourselves, right? So I can't tell you you're positive. You got to find it yourself.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys a tip that I did with my grandson, and all you grandparents can probably help the parents just like Krista did. But my grandson's homework was so intense, and we had these Facebook Lives that we do 3 times a week for Shoot Like a Girl. And so I couldn't be with him 24/7. So I literally would put him on FaceTime and I would farm out that homework. I'd call my mother and say, Mom, you're doing writing with him. I called my son. I said, he has to get his math done. Here you go. and I FaceTimed him and they got it done. And so then he just brought the work to me and showed me when he was done. So, hey, I agree, Diana Chambers. If you have a beverage of choice, drink up, because life is too short to sit. And we know we don't want to drink alone, so we can drink together if you choose to partake, and you're legal. No underage drinking here, right? We'll kick you off. So we're going to keep these kind of. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the other thing I want to touch on is what we've seen a lot of, or we're hearing a lot of over this week. So we're on to Tuesday. I gotta be honest. I didn't sleep well last night. I woke up this morning and the first thing I asked my husband is it Wednesday? And he says, no, it's Tuesday. This is totally not me. I know every day of the week. It's Tuesday, and that means we've had 2 regular work days. And I know of or have heard of multiple people who have been laid off of their jobs. This is a scary time. You're not alone. Who knows what tomorrow brings for all of us, but we hope that if you're experiencing that here, or that if you know of someone that you can reach out, you'll find someone to speak to, you won't self-isolate yourself, right? We'll be thinking of you and trying to help send our positive thoughts your way for the next steps. That's all I want to say. Sorry, that was a kind of a bummer statement, but I worry about people all the time.
Joetta, hang in there. So I'm glad you showed up today, Joetta, because what you're going to find from all the women that are joining in here is that we're a great community. You know, it doesn't matter if you like the same things, do the same things. For the most part, I truly believe that people are good. And when I see your story, Joetta, it just breaks my heart. Joetta's lost her husband a year ago. And so now she's isolated and she's going through all of that grief. And grief is just a devil dragon. It reaches up and smacks you when you least expect it. And everybody grieves differently. And so I'm so sorry that you went through that time and you felt isolated, but you're not alone. You are not alone here. And I'm sure that we can look and find resources where there might be some grief groups that are meeting online similar to this, where you can talk about those feelings, or you can talk to us about those feelings. If you see now you're getting like a ton of hugs virtually, so just kind of wrap yourself up and feel good. But, you know, we human beings, women particularly, we're all a bunch of nurturers, and there's science behind it, and it's not true for every woman. And so I understand that, but for the most part, women are truly nurturers. And when we saw that people were suffering and struggling, that's really why we wanted to come together and do some fun things too. Like we're going to play some games. We're going to play some silly games on here, y'all. Today we're starting with kind of the give us a word so we can understand what your personality is really quickly. We're going to invite some people on to talk about what they're going through and to share what they're doing. And then we'll get some reaction from the people that are watching on some tips that you can use. You know, life is about having the right tools in your rucksack or your backpack to handle what comes to you. And I'm confident that if you look, you'll find exactly what you need right there. And you're not alone. And this too shall pass, even though it feels like it's not ever going to. Things are going to change back to more of a normal. I think we're going to have a new normal when it finally resolves. But you will be able to get out and be around people, and there will be hope. There is always hope, and there's always faith. And I'm sure someone that could quote, I'm sure Janine Wyatt, I see her out there. I'm sure Janine Wyatt could throw up a verse there that would help. But there's always hope, and please don't despair. And we're so grateful for all of you guys for tuning in. And I hope you're enjoying this. Are you guys enjoying this? I don't know. I hope.
So I gotta tell you, this is a week of hope, and I want to share something that my mom actually instilled in us as children. Except for the excessive work ethic, we have like this major work ethic. But she said, at her worst moments, she knew that when her eyes opened in the morning, all she had to do was what came next, and what came next might have been get out of the bed, brush my teeth, put my clothes on. And at her darkest moments, she would just think about what is the next step. And she would move through the day, and she would be like overwhelmed with the positives that she found just by moving from step to step. And some of those are simple things, simple as brushing your teeth or feeding yourself because you've got food in the refrigerator. Maybe it was going for a walk. I saw someone mention maybe going for a walk, whatever it was. Step by step to get to the next day, so that we can get through this process and keep moving forward. I mean, it's really about moving forward. We are going to have, this is our first one, like Karen mentioned earlier. We'll be here every Tuesday, 7 Central Time. I have a really hard time with days of the week right now. Even worse time with time. I'm Eastern, Karen Central. I don't know if I'll ever quite work through all of that. We do have a guest next week. So Karen and I had thrown a calendar out there, and I've already spoken with our guest. We've got, if you may have actually know this person, you may not. She's an author. She's written 2.9 books. If she's watching, she might be. Oh, she's on there.
Yep, she's watching because I put her quote there.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah, 2.9 books because we've got, I think, one rolling out soon. So next Tuesday, we're going to have author Liz Lazarus with us. And she's just like the rest of us. And guess what? She's got her own challenges too. She's not just an author, right? So we're going to get on. She'll be fun. We'll talk about a little bit about her books and her stories. And again, we'll be just a bunch of ladies coming online having a good time.
That's right. We look forward to hearing back from you. So we'll ask you guys to give your comments and topics that you want us to talk about. We really, really, really wanted to just let you know you're not alone. The challenges that you're going through, you may think you're the only one in the world, but I promise you there's somebody else going through just the same thing in a different location. And together, ladies, we collectively will get through this. And we want to be your venting board. If you want to put something that's private, you can private message us at Shoot Like a Girl, and we will answer you back, but we'll keep that private because we understand privacy. And I'm really excited for Liz next week. So maybe we can figure out a way that we could, like, people could download her book. Her books have in the back of them, like, book club. I don't know, maybe if you guys are interested in that, we could maybe do that or set up something separate to have the author come in and go through those with us as book club. But I know that if you're a nurse, a healthcare professional, a teacher that's at home building all of the ridiculous work you're sending to us, to the parents, it's still important. It's still extremely important to keep our children educated. If you're a respiratory therapist, if you work in the dental field, if you have a job where you still have to get up and go to work every day and face the general public, thank you for what you're doing. We are fortunate that I'm fortunate, I guess, because I can stay home and be self-isolated and make sure I'm doing everything to keep myself safe. But I really appreciate all of you that are out there that are on the front lines for us. And I say front lines in a very different way because, military, we have a front line is really it's the tip of the spear, right? But right now we're in a war against COVID-19, and it's trashing our country, and we can't let it win. And if we all stick together, we will win, and it will lose. I wish you all the very best. Go ahead.
Let's talk about something positive real quick before we get off. We're going to try to hold these to about 30 minutes, right? We don't want to take all of your evening. Tell us about the puppies.
Oh my gosh, the puppies. All right, so y'all, you might have seen our videos, and I'll post some more pictures, but the puppies are walking, and so I've learned that puppies, so I've never done puppy thing, some of you have, but the puppies now have teeth, which they didn't have before. Their eyes are open, but they're not quite seeing straight, and they're walking on all fours, kind of wobbly woo. It's very funny. And Trigger's doing great, but she's annoying the I don't know, bad word in here out of us. Like, she is really annoying us. And so that's been interesting. We're not sleeping either, but we know why. It's because of little Trigger. But the puppies are doing great. I sat up with them for about an hour last night, and they're just adorable. They go to their very first veterinarian appointment tomorrow, and that's interesting. So our vet I drive up, and they come get them out of the back of the car, and they take them in, and then I write a check. I guess I slip it out my window. I don't know, but they go to the vet tomorrow. But those puppies are so enjoyable, and it's so great to see life right now and just unabashed, like they're starting to get personalities.
They're 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
3 weeks old. 3 weeks yesterday. Yeah, 3 weeks old yesterday. And so they're a little adorable. They're starting to eat real food, and so that's exciting. And I can't wait to see them grow up and find a good home. FYI, they need to find a good home.
Those puppies.
I am not. Although it's going to be hard. I will tell you, it's going to be very hard to get rid of those puppies because they're just I'm building an attachment to them. You know, I'm the first human they've seen. And so it's weird to me. Like I've never had that before with a dog. So it's a lot of fun. Breed, Margaret, okay, so I'll tell you all the story. My dog, she is a full-blooded Labrador Retriever. Her name is Hunts Like a Girl's Legacy 2. She comes from a champion line of Labradors. And when I was out of town, she was doing what dogs do, and she went out to feed the horses. And when she went out to feed the horses, she just changed her mind and veered off stage left and came back an hour later with some scraggly dog chasing her. And so my dog was very shameful. And I don't know if like y'all can see her because she's right there. It's Trigger. But Trigger right now is like, you've been on there long enough. Let's go, lady. At first I was really embarrassed because I don't believe in, you know, breeding dogs that don't have a good home to go to. And so they're mutts, but they're adorable mutts, and they'll probably be great pets. And maybe even I'll send them to a trainer to make sure they get a great home. And thanks, she is cute, but she's ready for me to get off of here.
All right. Well, we have been on, actually, it looks like 35 minutes. Ladies, don't forget, please put your word in for today. If you watch this in replay and it's tomorrow or Thursday or whatever day of the week, put the word in, whatever that is that you feel in the moment. We're going to work together as a group of people across this world and come through this strong, independent, confident, you name it. Pick your word. We will have a drawing for that. We'll announce that winner next Tuesday at our 7 p.m. Central. Mm-hmm. Ladies' Night In.
Yep. So
Karen,
y'all,
you want to finish anything else?
I do. I just want to say, everybody have a great night. I hope you had a little fun. I hope you learned something. And I hope that you come back next Tuesday and we're going to do some games. I don't know quite what it is yet, but if anybody's ever been to a bachelorette party or a bridal shower or a baby shower, there are some games that we can play that will entertain us and make us just laugh. We just need a good laugh, right? So hope y'all have a great night and peace out.